So today we're going to talk about some of my favorite war films, and these happen to be my favorite Vietnam War films, and they go as followed. We got Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket, Oliver Stone's Platoon, and Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. All amazing, all quality, great stuff. I'm going to start it off with Full Metal Jacket for no particular reason. There is a bunch of fake blood on this, but basically Full Metal Jacket is sort of two main set pieces. That's about it. You got the first half of the film, which takes place with basic training, and then the second half takes place in Vietnam, and it's all you follow the life and times, I guess, of Matthew Modine, who plays Private Joker, from his start to his start in the military all the way to his first kill. And there's a very interesting line of dialogue in this film where he says he wanted to be the first kid on his block with a confirmed kill, and then it came to the time, and he really gets put to the test, and I really like what happens. So you have Arlie Ermy in here being one of the most iconic roles in cinema history of all time, as the staff sergeant who's got insult after insult after insult. My favorite being, it looks like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. I think that's, or you look like you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose. That kind of shit. It's like, you sound like my grandpa and I love you, so please give me more insults. This movie is interesting to note that Arlie Ermy is apparently one of a few actors that Stanley Kubrick actually kind of gave a little bit of leeway in order to create some of his own dialogue, which is interesting because Kubrick is famously known for being sort of, he's got a vision, he wants to get it, that kind of thing. But man, if you really want to get like sort of a not a jokey Vietnam film at all, like not like Good Morning Vietnam or anything like that, but this movie is way more lighthearted compared to the other two in this video that we're going to talk about. It is very brutal. The sniper scene is very brutal, especially when the one guy's getting shot to shit, and then the other guy goes out to get him. He's getting shot to shit, and it's just very tense. Like they're out on their own. There's no support coming. Like all that kind of stuff. Arliss Howard, who was Cowboy, amazing. Loved him in this film. I loved what the hell is his name? Vincent D'Onofrio, who's Private Gomer Pyle, who's like insane. Like he's known as that character. Like it's amazing, man. Even the dude who was oh man, I don't know what his name is, but he's the guy that's Animal Mother. He's amazing. Like all these sort of side characters, and like I just imagine that's what the war would be like. It's kind of like a big bullshit fest when there's not like action happening. I feel like it'd just be like kind of a bit of a big bullshit fest. Breaking each other's balls, getting high, getting drunk, trying to find broads, all that kind of stuff. I just, I really buy this movie. I really do enjoy it a lot. So Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket goes down in history as the first Vietnam War film that I had ever consciously watched. I think I might have seen Hamburger Hill before this and I remember watching it and thinking it was going to be like a kid's movie, but it was not a kid's movie, Hamburger Hill, at all. But goddamn, love me some Full Metal. Next, we're going to talk about Apocalypse Now. Yes, which is Francis Ford Coppola's film that took like an obscene amount of time to film. There was tons of trials and tribulations that happened throughout the making of this film. Their helicopters were seized by the government. I think Marlon Brando was supposed to lose a bunch of weight, and he actually gained a shitload of weight. Yeah, amazing stuff. Everyone's an alcoholic back then, so yeah, he managed to pull off one of the most spectacular, extraordinarily shot films I've ever seen. Shot by Vittorio Sotaro, who is amazing. Like the use of colors, like this cover is a good cover because it's messed up and weird and has a great red tone. This movie's big on different color tones like that. Like it might be really blue at one point, really red, purple, crazy backgrounds. Basically, the story of Apocalypse Now is all about Martin Sheen being an operative, a well-known operative that can get shit done. He's contracted by the military while he's getting pissed drunk, fucking cutting himself up in a hotel room. He's basically enlisted to go and kill Marlon Brando's character, who's Colonel Kurtz. And it's all about Martin Sheen going with this group of soldiers down the river on this boat, and everything that happens from that, everything that happens in this film is him being enlisted to him finally killing Kurtz, and the ride, man, holy shit. It's insane. Like, you got Lawrence Fishburne, he's like 14 at the time, posing as an 18-year-old to get an acting gig. You got oh damn, what the hell's his name? The dude from Colors. Robert Duvall. You got Robert Duvall playing this just crazy fucking cowboy kind of guy that's just getting a total kick out of being a surfer. He's in the Vietnam War. He's looking for a good wave break. You know, Charlie can't surf. Like, there's so many good lines of dialogue out of here. One of the most powerful scenes in this film, in my opinion, is the scene where they get their mail bag, and Lawrence Fishburne's character puts, this is a spoiler, heavy duty spoiler, he puts his piece of mail in the tape recorder, which was a tape from his mother, and it's all about how, you know, the grandma's going to buy you a car, but don't tell anybody, it's going to be a surprise, this and that. And as this tape is playing, the boat is ambushed and shot to shit, and Lawrence Fishburne loses his life, and they all look over at their friend who's dying or is dead, while his mother is talking about how she can't wait for him to get home. Man, like, it's crazy. It's crazy stuff, man. Like, when you can do that with film and make you feel like, to quote, I think, Michael Fultz, I don't think he was quoting it on this film, but emotional wallop after emotional wallop. It's unreal, man. I love this movie so much. So, I'm just trying to cover everything I can, like, while I'm down here. I'm kind of making this video off the fly. I didn't do any research. I really love the scene where Martin Sheen gets to just outside the shit where Marlon Brando is, and there's a guy that, you know, he looks like he's right out of it, and he was able to shoot using like a noob tube. He shoots a guy like 300 feet away, or who knows how far away, with no light, and it's just spooky. It's spooky shit. There's parts of this film that feel like a horror film, and there's top-notch effects. Once he does get to the, I guess you'd call it, fucked up commune where Marlon Brando's character is stationed, it's all bets are off, man. You got heads, you got fucking bones, you got monkeys, you got people dressed up looking like they're from Cannibal Holocaust, all that shit, man. So Apocalypse Now is a great movie from 1979, the same year as Lucio Fulci's Zombie. So to give you a bit of a taste of what was coming out at that point, you got Fulci's Zombie, you got Coppola's fucking Apocalypse Now, two amazing films that came out. The Warriors came out in 79 too. There's 3 fucking movies right there that are better than any movie that's been put out in the last 10 years, Irishman included. All, like, those movies from the 70s, they fucking kill. Moving on to the last film of this video is Oliver Stone's Platoon. Yes, this is my favorite of those movies, I'm not gonna lie. I love Charlie Sheen. I love that Charlie Sheen gets to sort of, you know, plant his, in my head, like when I was younger, when I was watching these movies, I used to pretend that Charlie Sheen grew up and was in Apocalypse Now as Martin Sheen, you know what I mean? But this is a great film. It's all about Oliver Stone's own personal experience in the war, I guess, as the Sheen character, and the trials and tribulations he goes through, interacting with Willem Dafoe and Tom Berenger, who play Barnes and Willard, I believe. Is it Barnes and Willard? I could be wrong on that, but either way, one's an asshole and one's a cool guy. You know, Willem Dafoe's a good guy. Tom Berenger's a piece of shit. Kevin Dillon is a piece of shit in this movie, but I love him. I love him, man. It's almost like when he got home, well, I mean, he dies in the movie, but if he got home, he's going to do the Blob shit, or the Blob shit happened before, so that's what made him all crazy. I just like to mash up movies like that in my head sometimes, but one of my favorite scenes in this film is when they're all getting pissed up and high as hell in the bunker. Johnny Depp is in this film, Forrest Whitaker, Tony Todd, you know, to name a few. Like, unreal fucking talent on this film for sure. Leonard Maltin says it's harrowingly realistic and completely convincing. I agree. There's a scene where it's like the first night in, and Charlie Sheen he's taking watch, and something drastically goes wrong, and Charlie's coming in, and it, like, everything about that, it's so you know, hair raising and spine tingling, and your heart's beating, like all that kind of stuff, man. And yeah, some of my favorite lines of dialogue in this film is when he goes, like right before they're about to go on an ambush, some other guy, he goes, I I ain't getting greased on this bush, so you keep that sorry cheese dick off my ass. Like, all that kind of stuff. They have like the lingo down. And I love the character of Junior in the beginning when he opens up his can of food and he's like, oh fuck, I'm not eating pork again. He's like, come on, trade me and all this shit. Like, I feel like that's the kind of shit that would have been going on. People are, like I said, a bullshit fest. People wanting to get high, all that stuff, bitching about the food, like exactly what you think, you know. But in the midst of all of it, it's these young men and women that are just probably scared to fucking death, man. Like, that's why it's like hats off to people that have, like, you know, actually done time in the military, man, because they do shit that the majority of people could not fucking handle. That is a fact. So I'm just trying to think of, like, you know, some of my favorite shit in this film, like the whole scene where they you know, after a few of their own of the platoon get killed, they end up at this village, and they basically ransack the village, and a lot of questionable stuff is being performed by the soldiers and shit like that. But the fucking eye-dropping or mouth-dropping, eye-opening scene is when Kevin Dillon bashes a retarded guy's head in with the butt of his gun. He looks back at Charlie Sheen and he goes, "You see that fucking head come apart?" Like, brutal stuff, man. Like, this is the shit that you know, makes people protest against the army, you know, because of that kind of shit. But, you know, I definitely think that they do more good than harm. That's 100%. But my God, what a fucked up, crazy, twisted movie to watch. Definitely, you know, war is hell, and this cover says it right there. That's a famous. I have to point this out because I think it was what the hell is that movie? Tropic Thunder, which I love, recreates this scene with Ben Stiller, and he's like going all nuts. Like, it's ridiculous stuff. Not to bring up Tropic Thunder in a video about such serious films, but man, I do love Tropic Thunder a lot too. I think it's a great fucking movie. Yeah, great performances all around, great direction, love it. Platoon. So, thanks for watching this episode of VHS Collection with Bluntzilla fucking video. I'm not exactly sure which video is going to be next, but there will be one tomorrow. So, thanks for watching. Check out the Facebook, and adios.